The man is, if nothing else, busy. Mike North every Sunday night at 9. Hear him Friday afternoons with Steve Cochran at 5:50. Watch his daily 30 and 5 video commentaries at 560WIND.com. And read him now in the Daily Herald. We love visiting with him every Tuesday morning. Here's Mike North. Hi, Mike.
What's up, guys? What's going on? I got writer's cramp. I got carpal tunnel.
Yeah, congrats.
Well, thanks, Amy. You know what? They left the door open.
So I snuck in there.
I walked in. I found a cubicle.
Do you know that? I love that paper. And Gowdy writes a column for them.
Yep.
Now that I only buy newspapers for columnists now anyway.
Well, you know what's funny? I said I'm not going to be a guest columnist. And they said, you're not going to be a guest columnist. I'm going to be in 2 days a week in print, 3 on the web. And it's going to, and I have an actual card that says columnist. My old man would finally be proud of me because he heard me yap my whole life. And you know what? He was a friend of the printed word. Mm-hmm. He was a friend of the printed word. He read books and everything else. Just a blue-collar guy.
Well, you're in the right town for great columnists, that's for sure.
Well, you know what?
Historically and even now.
I'm going to Bill Gleason. Yeah. I mean, guys like that were Rick Talley back in the day. I mean, there's some great columnists from the past, and you're right now. Especially my guys, I'm going to name them all from the Daily Herald if we don't get going.
All right, let's talk about Roger Clemens. The big question today is, should he be kept out of the Hall of Fame?
Absolutely. I think that, you can be not guilty, but you got to be innocent. I think that's a difference.
Well, he's not famous? He's famous.
Well, I think, if you go over any case, he's famous, but is he innocent? Okay.
Doesn't matter. It's not the Hall of Morality. It's the Hall of Fame.
Well, I think there's no doubt about that. But the bottom line is precedents have been set already. I don't think Barry Bonds is ever going to get in. And Barry Bonds basically went to court. There are people like Dick Butkus who fight the steroid battle in high schools where kids are dying. So, where everybody will act cavalierly about it and say, does it mean anything? I think it does mean things. There have been families with issues. Not that there's not issues in every family about different things, but when kids are injecting themselves with something, then they take it to the next level. Roger Clemens was 43 years old, still throwing 105 miles an hour. And you're not supposed to be able to do that. Now, there are some freaks like Nolan Ryan. So maybe he did, maybe he didn't. Now, he did go to court, and he was found not guilty. So it's up to the writers and the individuals themselves to decide. Like you and Amy, John, whether you want to think that he's, never took a steroid in his life.
It's irrelevant to me. I don't care. He was a great pitcher. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. End of story.
Yeah, bottom line is, and that's the argument for Clemens, he was great before he took him. He was great before he took him.
So was Randy Johnson if he did. I don't know if they did. I don't care.
The Bonds thing, that's a different story. 70 home runs, 72, the McGuire stuff, the records were just so out of whack. And there's people been following this game for a long time. They knew something was wrong. And I remember Sammy Sosa when I called him the Panther because he was so sleek. He was 180 pounds. I saw him 4 years later, didn't even recognize him. To me, if he didn't take steroids, it's impossible for him to have 360 home run seasons. If you've been watching, if anybody watches the game on a regular basis.
Oh, I know. Remember his uniform was so saggy on him?
And then all of a sudden it was tight, and he always wore the long sleeve blue shirts because his arms were so big it wasn't proportionate with the rest of his body. He was like Popeye.
And then when he had to stop the roids,
we loved it.
There's no question, John. Now, wait. Hey, I always thought that the pitchers got off scot-free. Clemens didn't. But everybody used to talk about the hitters because it was, hey, chicks dig the long ball. And they were absolutely right. But I kept saying, don't tell me a pitcher doesn't want to throw from 96 to 100 miles an hour. Don't tell me a pitcher doesn't want to maybe make his career last longer. Sign that $65 million contract for 5 years. I mean, back in the day. That's why they took him, to keep up with the Joneses, but to exceed the Joneses.
But listen how crazy this is. $6 million spent on Barry Bonds' trial. Now they're saying anywhere between $2 and $3 million on both the Roger Clemens trials.
Yeah, I mean, but if we're going to talk about money being wasted, we could talk about a million things. For, court,
baseball
I
players using
understand.
Steroids, who cares?
Well, I guess, the thing about steroids is, would you let your kid take them?
No, how much money? Bonds using them is not going to influence my kid to use steroids.
If you want would you let your 14-year-old kid take the steroids? And if the answer is yes, that's fine. But if the answer is no, then you know what? You're being a little bit hypocritical, I think.
Well, if I was my son's agent, which I will be, then we're going to have to talk about it.
If the kid's a AAA ball player, though, and he goes, Dad, if I take this supplement, I could sign a 5-year deal for $3 million. I think the equation changes. There's no question.
Well, I am the son of a pharmacist, Mike.
Thank you. Get this stuff cheap.
Congratulations on your Daily Herald gig.
Hey, you guys take good care.
Bye-bye. Mike North here, AM 560 WIND.
I'm Mike North for the Village of Rosemont. From the 9th largest convention center to restaurants to theaters, sports venues, and hotels. 5 minutes from O'Hare, you got it all here. Rosemont. You can't miss it.